possibly be missed with those injuries. William Hayes will be out for the season. He tore his ACL on that sack. He was trying to not put body weight on the quarterback, so his foot got caught in the ground.
So you think the rule affected how?
Just telling you what happened.
Are you saying that Hayes tried not to put body weight on the quarterback and that caused the injury?
I'm just telling you what he did.
How does the loss of Hayes impact the team?
I mean, it hurts. I mean, he's one of our leaders, probably best guys in the locker room, best run defender. I mean, that's going to be a tough one for us to swallow.
Are you concerned that any of the others might be season-ending?
No.
After week 1, you lose Sitton. Before the season, you lose Gray. Now you lose Hayes. To be 3-0 despite all these bad injuries, is there something good you could take out of that you've kind of been lucky on this side of it?
I think there was a lot of good things that came out of yesterday. I thought guys fought. They fought to the end. Never gave up. We lose Spence on an ejection. We had multiple injuries. The D-line was low on numbers, man, and it was not a cool, breezy day. So guys did a good job of just trying to rotate in there and fight and hold everything down. And, we found a couple of ways to get some explosive plays to where we could get the lead and, get the win.
Did you get more clarity on the Spence situation?
No, not yet.
Especially if Derby has an injury for any period of time, what's your belief about Gesicki and how much he has come along?
Well, I think he grew a lot this game. I saw some good things. I saw some things aggression-wise that we've been waiting for. So we'll keep building off of that. And then I think Durham's done a good job when he's been in there because we've done some things with him and some of our 2 tight end packages. So we'll kind of see what goes on the next couple of days of what direction we'll go and kind of how we want to handle this.
Have you seen enough out of O'Leary that you're interested in giving him a shot?
We're not that far yet. Right now, today, we're trying to make sure that, one, we knew, who got hurt, how the extended time. I mean, we'll get to that step. It'll probably be tomorrow, and then we can kind of start game planning off of that. But right now, I'm not ready to say that. I know this. He's done a good job since he's been here, and he's a quick learner, so we'll kind of see how it plays out.
How would you evaluate how Minkah did at safety yesterday?
He was good. I mean, we had some couple things that happened in front of him that, it seems like the safety gets blamed for things that aren't his fault. So, but he did fine.
I guess on that big play to Jordy was that Jerome that didn't have his right depth.
You're talking about which one? The
first, I guess the first big play.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go through it, but it was nobody. You guys think that it was so.
Adam, on the pass from Wilson, is that the type of thing where at the spur of the moment you say to yourself, this is the time, or is it something a few series before you said, let's think about this? Or
no, I think I kept saying, I started saying I was going to call it in that series, and I think I started on the other side of the 50, and then it might have got backed up to like the -30 before we called it, and then we had the play before to where I think we were around the 40-ish, and then Dow was egging me on, so.
I think Jakeem and Albert had incredible efficiency they were only in the hands of the field for 10 or so snaps. How does that balance work? When they have production like that, do you think, hey, maybe get them more, or do you pick your
Yeah, we tried it. We got them in there earlier. I think we had a couple of chances for some plays that we liked, and they didn't work out the right way. So you're trying to, one, stay on the field to make sure we get a first down and get things going. It seems like we get that first down, then we usually have a good drive. When we have the 3 and outs, and we only had 45 plays in the game. So, I mean, it makes it tough to really start rotating everybody in there. And we had a good plan going into it, how we wanted to do it. It's just we just didn't have a ton of plays.
What are your thoughts about the 44 plays? Is that something that's a bad number for you?
It was surprising, but, I mean, the penalties we had 2 OPI calls that crushed us, especially to start the second half. And then at the end of the first half, I mean, that hurt us bad. And we can't have plays where we're losing yardage and it's 1st and 20 or 2nd and 20 because it's going to be hard to convert. you know, we just got to get a first down, we got to get a third down conversion to where we can keep guys on the field. But at the same time, we were getting some big chunk plays to where, you know, we had short drives. I think we had 4 scoring drives, and we're averaging 3 plays a drive on them.
A couple of those OPIs they kind of call rub plays. Is that something that you felt?
They weren't. They were just running the route. So.
It's a weird question for you, but did you have fun yesterday? When you're watching 2 of you guys running down the field, high-fiving each other, did you get any joy out of it?
Yeah, when you win, it's fun.
Adam, I'm sorry, I thought that the 75-yard pass in the opener may have been the best pass Ryan ever threw. Then I saw the pass to Stills in the corner of the end zone. Amazing touch on that ball. How would you?
I thought it was a really good pass, and I thought it was a really good catch because the way that those 2 guys hooked up on that route, there was a lot of trust there, and they both did exactly what we have been talking about all this year as far as how the defender plays, how they got to kind of trust what we're telling them and then trust each other. And I thought it was a great job. I thought the line did a great job of holding up on the protection, and then Ryan did a great job of staying in there because he still took a pretty good hit, but it didn't seem to.
I mean, that window was small.
Yeah, it was a great throw.
Adam, when you look at developing an identity for this team, how close are you to doing that through 3 games, do you think?
I think we have a good idea what kind of team we have as far as the character and the effort and just the want to be there for each other. The accountability to each other is awesome to see. That locker room is tight, and those guys want to win for each other, and they want to make sure that they do whatever they have to do to get ready for that game and then play 4 quarters, no matter what the score is, just keep battling.
We noticed some of your confidence. You see some of the confidence that you have in the guys in your locker room?
Well, I mean, I think we had confident guys to begin with. I think it's been fun to watch those guys kind of grow together, you know, because we got a lot of new guys. I think the new guys we brought in that jumped right in, you know, believing in what we were saying and really taking to really what we're trying to do all 3 phases, and they've been great additions. And I think the guys that have already been here, they've accepted those guys in, and it's helped us all.
Ryan said yesterday when a trick play comes into the huddle, everybody in the huddle gets excited, even the offensive linemen. What is that dynamic important to have that kind of energy and enthusiasm?
I'm all for it. Anytime everybody gets excited about a play call, I'm for it. The worst is when the quarterback goes in and says it to where he doesn't believe it's going to work. That's when you get a little nervous. So, but those guys, I know when they like a play because they'll start saying stuff when we're doing it in walkthrough or in practice or when we watch film together where, you know, somebody will chirp out and wonder if I'm really going to call it. And so I just keep my ears open. If I feel like guys really like something, we'll get to it.
But with these trick plays, obviously there's a fun element, but also it takes a lot of work, right? The timing on these things is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think when guys take it serious and they understand what we're trying to accomplish, they make it work. I think when they're not sure and there's any kind of gray, I think that's when you run into trouble. I mean, you don't always hit them. I mean, there's been plenty of times we've called them to where it hasn't worked. But when they do work, it can be, you know, big plays in the game.
You draw them up and you think on paper it's going to work. How good does it have to look in practice before you feel like, yeah, okay, I can pull the trigger on that in a game?
You want it to look right. You want it to look good. I mean, the second one that Albert scored on in the 4-minute drive, I mean, that looked terrible all week, but it felt right.
How could you call it? How could you
I don't know, man. Sometimes you just go with your gut, man. It was the right time. You just knew that Albert would make the right decision, and he knew what he was going to do.
You knew it. You completely knew it. You knew that even as bad as this has looked all week, it's going to work. Or you were a little bit nervous about how that was going to.
I felt good about it. It looked good in the walkthrough. How about that?
On the jet sweep, maybe this is a dumb question, but why does Ryan toss the ball rather than hand it? Are you just trying to add his stats, or what?
You have to ask them. You have to ask them. I don't know. I mean, I've seen it done both where they've done it that way, and I've seen them hand it off before. So we had a Wednesday practice, and they handed it off because it was raining. I mean, it was raining all practice, and he handed it off. I'm like, are we tossing this or are we handing it off? And he's like, it's raining. I'm gonna hand it off. So, you know, I'm good with either way as long as he doesn't drop it.
So this is runner pass plays.
It's pass play.
I guess there was a good bit of talk this summer about changing the culture here and overcoming adversity. After 3 games, where would you say, this team is?
Well, I think we're running our fair share of adversity in certain moments, but I don't think it's really some of the things we went through last year were a little different type. I mean, we're talking about game adversity this year compared to last year where it was organization wide, where, we're picking up, we're moving, we're going all over the world, it seemed like. And this year it's more of us handling injuries, us being able to handle, little odd situations in a game or ups and downs of a game. And I think the guys have done a good job of handling anything that's just been outside the box. And really that's a testament to those guys of staying focused on what we're asking them to do.
And what's the significance of going to New England with a 2-game lead in the division?
Nothing. 0. Just don't look at records right now. It's too early. Nobody cares. At the end of the day, nobody will give a shit unless you win the last one. So, you got to focus on 1 week. That's what we need to do. When we get to that, when we get to Wednesday, we'll worry about them. Right now, our guys are going to get their things corrected from this game, and then we'll move on to New England when it's time to move on.
When you looked at Parker's snaps, what did he do good and not good?
I thought he made a really big play on, seeing him and Ryan hook up on that takeoff. Thought it was a great catch. His hands were late as far as getting up to where the DB couldn't get his up. Thought that was a great job, good hookup, considering they haven't really, hit that route since probably training camp. So that was good to see. I think that he did a lot of little things right that nobody really notices. I thought his run blocking was good. I thought a lot of his routes looked really good. It just ball didn't go there.
You mentioned winning is fun when you were asked about that. Is there something more to it with this team now?
I think I enjoy watching these guys play together. Just to fight for each other. I love it when I see the defensive guys or they come by me and, if we're struggling and, they have a kind of, a lot of those guys will be like, we got you, don't worry about it, we'll get it back. And I see a lot more interaction between the offense and defense throughout a game, which is cool to see.
With the Patriots having a rough start, how difficult is it to convince your team that these are still the same Patriots?
Yeah, we've played 3 games. That they're always going to do the same thing they always do. They get better every week. They have a really good coaching staff, and they have a Hall of Fame quarterback. This is going to be the records are irrelevant right now. Doesn't mean anything.
Is there a different vibe in Patriot Week that you notice, whether intentional or not?
I don't know. I think our guys are so focused on making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do and getting ready for this opponent. It's going to be hard because they're going to do a lot of things that are going to be tough for us. And it's going up there. It's a great environment to play in. It's rowdy. It's loud. They'll be ready to go. So we have to make sure we're on our A game.
When you look at your start, you guys have gotten the outcome you wanted each of the first 3 games. Do you look at it and say everything is firing exactly like you want, or do you see that there's a lot to fix?
Yeah, there's a lot to fix. That's how it is in the NFL. You just need to try to get better every week. And you just try to avoid peaks and valleys to where 1 week you're really good and then the next week you're really poor. And we need to trend upward. We have to find a way to get better this week in practice and for this game. And it might not result, the result might not be exactly what you want all the time, but as long as you're getting better every week, that gives you a chance at the end of the season. And that's what we need to strive for.
How well do you think you guys have played if you focus on what's actually transpired and not the outcomes that have obviously been in your favor?
I think we still have a ways to go. I think we have a lot of things to fix, and I think our players know that. I think that the effort, energy, and intensity have been there. I think we need to clean a lot of things up to where we start executing at a higher level more often, which I think there's a lot of teams in the NFL saying that right now.
You look at Amendola and Bolden, and I know Amendola's been here a little longer, but what traits, if any, do you think that they have in common?
They love football. They love practicing. They bring great energy on game day. Whatever they have, they give it. Those 2 are as professional as I've ever seen on NFL football players. And every day I see them, I'm glad they're here. I probably tell them that. And those guys they've been nothing but positive on our other guys. Those guys see those guys work. You talk about guys that are all in on their profession and their craft, those guys are all in.
Adam, can you talk about playing Jesse Davis on the defensive line?
We ran out of options. I was kind of hoping we'd put somebody in that wasn't starting on our offensive line, but he's done it before. I mean, we were trying to make sure they stay out of the end zone, and, you know, it didn't work out, but he's done that before, so that's the only option we had.
Fair to say that Brian has been everything you could have asked his first 3 games.
I think he's done a good job. I think there's room for improvement, like always, and I felt like he was very confident yesterday. You know, it was good to see him do some of the things he did early. You know, we weren't sure how many drives we'd have opportunities for. I know during the game, you know, you're trying to figure out what's going on with our run game. We weren't really running the ball as we're accustomed to where, you know, we were getting good chunk plays, or we were popping out at least a couple of them here and there. They did a good job against the run game. And, you know, I think Dial said it best. He was like, he's hot right now. Don't worry about it. Just start slinging it. So, you know, you don't have to tell me twice.
What was it that you think impacted his confidence?
I don't know. He had a good week of practice. He was good all week. He was ready to go. I think, you know, for whatever reason, he felt good about what we were doing, or, you know, their scheme versus what we had up. I'm not sure. He just had a good week of practice, and he was ready to go.
How do you know confidence?
You feel it during the week when some of the balls that when they, you know, quarterbacks, sometimes you can tell when they're feeling good about what you got in, because they're not hesitating. They're just letting it rip, and they're completing a ton of passes in practice.
Now, one thing about Kiko really quick, is he making more tackles at or near the line of scrimmage this year? Is he using his sideline to sideline speed better? Or what
Yeah, I mean, he's moving well right now. He's reacting to what he's saying, and he's not hesitating. I think it's nice for him to have those other guys that he's been rolling with out there that he doesn't really have to tell them much, because those guys are sharp and work out what they're doing. And I think he's just able to go out there and play and react to the game.
Thanks, guys.